because all the TV cameras are here and we're on Facebook Live. And I would just like to state that I will not ask you about national security issues. But before that, I would like to ask the COMSEC to read into the record the presence of everyone here. And we would like to start now the very brief meeting for NSC and NICA, National Security Council and the National Intelligence Coordinating Agency. Yeah, not major budgets, but major roles in governance. Please read into the record. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair. The Senate Committee on Finance would like to acknowledge the presence of its distinguished guests: Director General Alex Paul Monteagudo, Assistant Director General Ruth Galila, Assistant Director General Melchor Fajardo, Assistant Director General Restituto Santos, Director General Jimenez Esperon, Assistant Director General Filonila Balitaan, Assistant Director General Ray Roderos. Thank you.
With my decision, I will not ask you anything about your budget because I have the soft and hard, I think I have the hard copy of the budget. Director General Esperon already came to my office. Nika, I know anyway, every year. I've been doing you for 4 years. I will just review your budgets and I would request the agencies, the two, to give me a private, confidential, situationer, the latest, on the West Philippine Sea, on the drug situation in the country, whether involving VIPs, celebrities, politicians, local officials, local people, and if there is any foreign involvement in the drug situation, because it emanates from somewhere, right? Which country, China, etc. And if you're a transshipment point or with the, and so that's very sensitive, which I don't want to discuss in a hearing. So West Philippine Sea, the drug situation, the insurgencies, whether CPP, MPA, NDF, and MNLF, MILF, BIFF, MAUTE, etc. And Abu Sayyaf. Apart from those three issues, if there are others which you think, and the protection of territory which we already have, meaning with Philippine rice, it's a newly acquired territory in the past few years, how do we protect it? And then also include economic security threats, meaning smuggling of agricultural products, intellectual theft. Let's say the plants that we have that are being taken away by other countries in ASEAN or even China, if any, and environmental security threats. Just give me those, then I will assess your budget whether what you have is enough. And if what you have is not enough, I will augment it. You know my support to your budget. In fact, I gave NICA a 100 million for 2017, which is not in your NEP. I am inclined to put it back. So that's how I support you, and I'm a believer in security. So also because I'm a believer in security, I will not play to the cameras, and we're on Facebook Live. I will not embarrass you by asking you certain questions. Bakit nagkaganito sa Marawi? Bakit nagkaganito si ganito? No, I'm not here to embarrass anyone. I'm not here to tell the security agencies kung may pagkukulang kayo. Kung may pagkukulang, we talk about it in private. Kung may pagkukulang sa tao, o sa performance, o sa equipment, o sa budget, o sa intel, o ano man, in private. So I will therefore approve your budget based on what you have, subject to those submissions, and then I will decide never to cut you, whether it will stay as is or I will increase it. So, because I would like to fully support our intelligence sector, and I hope that between now and by the time the budget is passed in October or November, I can find the time already to finally go to the Situation Room. So my only single question now is the agencies of government which have intel budgets, namely the Office of the President, the DILG, the DND, the DOTR, and the Coast Guard. NICA, of course, has. All of these intel budgets are supposed to equip these agencies with the intel information which NICA should gather and assess. My question is, do they actually submit to you raw intel reports which you assess? Or they don't? Otherwise, I will take out their intel. They should give it to you. Unless I'm wrong in my understanding, because NICA is supposed to consolidate this information so that is the basis for your assessment which you give to the National Security Council headed by the President, correct? So, lahat po baho ito ay nagbibigay OP, DILG, DND, PCG. Nagbibigay baho sila, Director General. And confi lang ang PDEA, hindi Intel.
Yes,
So ang tanong ko po, yung mga may Intel fund na binanggit ko, nagbibigay ba sila ng report sa inyo? At pangalawa, yung mga binibigyan ko ng confi fund, is it already also mandated that they submit to you the utilization or at least the output? Anong silbi nun? Because I cannot oversee the Intel and confi expenditure. Otherwise, I will put in the GAA that all of this I am giving Intel to must give their inputs to the NICA. They must follow. Otherwise, I will take out their Intel.
Thank you, Chair.
Correct me if I'm wrong. That's my understanding. That's how it should be, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Or unless compartmentalized tayo, bawat agency, Intel, kanya-kanyang analysis, kanya-kanyang trabaho. O, baka mamaya salungat.
Not all are providing us the intel, permitting reports, ma'am, and we don't have
Mandate under the law.
Yes, ma'am.
That's why there's a need for...
Yes, ma'am. Only NIC members are submitting, which are the AFP, PNP, NBI, yung PDEA are the ones. But other agencies which also have intel, it's supposed to be through the National Intelligence Board, but the National Intelligence Board is more of the policy-making function. But on the information, it's the NICA, but we don't receive any reports.
Now, is my understanding wrong? Tell me if my understanding is wrong, that they should be the supplier of raw information to you, or because it is not clear in your mandate, then they can actually keep the information to themselves?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
it works at several levels. At the level of the National Security Council, at the National Security Advisor, I convene the National Intelligence Board, which is departmental level. This is the policy-making body of intelligence in the departments that have intelligence funds or agencies that may be able to contribute to the national intelligence picture.
So maliwanag po yun. Kayo ang convener ng lahat ng ahensya na meron pong Intel Fund.
That's the NIB.
NIB. Okay.
The operating units, that's policy at NIB. The operating units are at National Intelligence Committee by NICA.
So, meaning, they really should. And here, it's very clear in the mandate of NICA. It serves as the focal point for the direction, coordination, and integration of all government activities involving national intelligence and the preparation of intelligence estimates on local and foreign situations for the formulation of the national security policies by the President and the National Security Council. How will you be able to do this if the agencies with intel budgets don't give you the input? it's like my staff not giving me the input from their research. How can I face anyone in a committee hearing? So the staff work and the intel should be given by the agencies with intel budget to you, the NICA, so that you can do your direction, coordination, and integration of all government activities. It serves as the lead intelligence collection agency of the national government. See? And the principal advisor to the President on intelligence. That's an Admin Order 68. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
So my understanding is
we
correct.
want to do that, ma'am, but under the current setup, we have limitations as far as the other departments are concerned, and that's where we want your help, the chair.
What are the departments? Let's put it on record that do not submit to you. If you're not ready,
Yes, ma'am.
then we submit
We'll
on Monday.
Yes, ma'am.
Along with the submissions on the situations or the threat situation and your recommendations in those I mentioned. West Philippine Sea, drug situation, insurgencies, and economic security. Yun. And the Philippine Rise. So lima po. And then the agencies that contribute to you information and those that refuse to, and what is the reason? There must be a reason. That's all. Then I will either retain your budget as is, but NICA will have its 100 again, like last year I put the 100 for this year. And then si General Espero naman nag-usap na kami. I had the Philippine Coast Guard here in the TOTR budget. They were talking about substations in the eastern seaboard. I just wanted to make sure that the equipment or intel budget you needed in that area also had substations. So magtugma po yung lugar na hiningin nyo ng karagdagan na meron naman substation. Hindi naman pwede tayo magbigay equipment as walang station sa bayan na yon. Magtugma lang po kayo ng Coast Guard for the Philippine Rise.
Chair, maybe we can do that also for the Bureau of Fisheries and Agriculture. Bureau of
Yes,
Fisheries.
if you will coordinate closely with BIFAR, Gongona, you do it with BIFAR.
I have asked him to forward some communications to the chairman, to the chairperson.
Yes, I'm very supportive of the BIFAR budget. I'm very supportive of the PCG budget. So just coordinate with the PCG. I already approve what we talked about the other night. So just please coordinate with the PCG insofar as the Eastern Seaboard is concerned. And then BIFAR, you coordinate with him. And then we will be happy to receive your inputs, NICA and NSC, by next week. Then I will only ask you questions after I've read those situationers, but it will be in my office, not in the open hearing. Okay. Yun na. So, based on that, we therefore approve your budget. You can have merienda. And we will, subject to your budget is approved with the 100, just maliwanag ba, the 100 augmentation is just to put it in parity with the 2017 budget. Okay. Sige. Thank you.